If you also feel this way and love the movie Midsommar, you might want to watch Possessed, which I just watched and is immediately going into the all-time craziest women in film list. Possessed is a 1 hour 48-minute 1947 psychological thriller horror about a woman's obsession with her ex-lover, starring Joan Crawford and Van Heflin. The closest thing I can describe it to is kind of, imagine Midsommar if Florence Pugh was schizophrenic and had BPD. I mean, listen to the sound design and score in this part of the movie. Did you hear the word Louise over that? I'll play that again. So yeah, I loved it. Truly a spectacular movie with some of the best score and sound design ever. This is another movie where everyone is just on point. Crawford and Heflin are excellent. I thought that Whatever Happened to Baby Jane would be the most lurid and crazy thing I would ever see Joan Crawford in, but nope, I think this one takes the cake for sure. And Van Heflin is tremendous in the same kind of role as kind of the idiot boyfriend in Midsommar. He's not the world's worst guy, but he is a playboy who should know better. Just kind of a callous jerk who gets a severe punishment. The cinematography too, goodness. Take a look at some of these shots. Just incredible. The opening scene showed Joan Crawford in a daze walking through Los Angeles just saying the word David. The shots themselves convey a loneliness and removal from society. Again, I can't help but think of the central tension of Midsommar to me. Part of the reason I think the cult is so attracted to Florence Pugh, and all millennials, is because everyone and everything is just so distant in normal society. And in the opening scenes, everyone just kind of basically ignores Joan Crawford, the way we do to a lot of people with mental illness or who are on the edges of society. And then she gets put in a psychiatric hospital, and the doctors give her a drug that makes her a bit more lucid, and we start to see her life up to this point in flashbacks. She's in love with a guy named David, and the flashbacks open up with David playing piano for her. Joan Crawford wants to marry David, but he doesn't want to. And Joan puts more pressure on him in various ways, insulting him, pleading with him, and so on. And David recoils at this and ends the relationship. So Joan goes back to where she lives. We learn that she's working as a nurse for a local invalid rich woman. The rich woman is obsessively paranoid and thinks that Joan is having an affair with her husband. Joan wants to quit, but the husband convinces her to stay. And shortly after that, the woman is discovered floating in the lake. There's some question about how the rich lady came to be like that. There's an investigation and everyone is cleared of any wrongdoing, but it's not definitive. The movie leaves it open to interpretation. A really great choice. And so then Joan goes with her husband to raise his son back in the city. One thing leads to another, and the husband does actually ask Joan to marry him. You also find out that David, Joan's ex-lover, works as the husband's employee, and David soon starts to develop a relationship with the husband's daughter. And so yeah, you can imagine how that goes down. Joan remains obsessed with David throughout the movie, and she's becoming more and more schizophrenic as the movie progresses. And the way they portray Crawford's deepening mental illness is just so good. I really don't want to spoil any of it, but it's just masterfully done. Also, to shout out the score again, it was such a perfect choice to get Franz Waxman. Notably, he scored Bride of Frankenstein and Sunset Boulevard, so he absolutely knew how to score this movie, and he scores Crawford like she's a universal horror monster. Just absolutely wonderful. So, love this movie. Goes in the pantheon of crazy lady movies for me. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.